Yeah, and it do be like that. But the next thing I want to get on to is Logic's final album, No Pressure, before he retires. Um what do I have to say about this? Well, first of all, let me start by saying this is not going to be a track by track review. I'm just going to put out some pointers and expand upon them, but this is not going to be a track by track review. That's gonna Not that it's gonna take up too much time, but I could probably do that for another podcast episode, another video. But I'm just gonna give my thoughts on the album as a whole, and what are my thoughts on Logic retiring, which is even more so not bigger than the album, but that is something that everyone has been going on about, and we'll get into that later. But yeah, so what do I think about Logic's career? Because with this whole I'm retiring after my this final album, No Pressure, it's like it was so sudden. Maybe some of the fans can say that maybe they saw this coming, but did you really though? I don't really know if I don't think I saw this one coming at all, from Logic, especially him of all artists. I didn't see that coming. But what do I think about Logic's career? Logic, as one of my close friends would say a few weeks ago, Logic has been the most wasted potential since Gohan from Dragon Ball Z. Like, that is probably the harshest thing you could possibly say about a rapper such as Logic, but he is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, Logic fan I know, and for him to say that, I think there has to be some truth to it, and I can't agree with that. Would I say he's the most wasted potential? No, but I get the point he's trying to make, is that for someone who's like, let's take a look at Logic's discography real quick, right? Yeah, he's had 6 studio albums, 1 soundtrack album, 6 mixtapes, 36 singles, including 14 singles as a featured artist. And by the way, I'm pulling this information from Logic's Wikipedia, so yeah, and so his debut mixtape was Young, Broke, and Infamous. Then he released his second mixtape, Young Sinatra, absolute classic. I don't care what anybody tells me, Young Sinatra is a classic. Even if you're not a fan of Logic, but you've listened to this, you can tell why this is like renowned as one of his greatest projects ever. That included the song All I Do. That was the first Logic song I think I've ever heard, All I Do. And yeah, I hopped onto the Logic scene pretty late, but that was the first Logic song I've ever heard. And from then it was like, I wouldn't say I've ever been like a stan of Logic, but I've definitely been a fan of Logic's work. He released Young Sinatra, Undeniable in 2012, Young Sinatra, Welcome to Forever in 2013. He released his debut studio album, Under Pressure, which again goes down as another classic for Logic. Like, I've never actually listened to all of his projects, but I've listened to these, and these are undeniable classics from him. Like, you can go back to these and listen to these at any moment in time, and just this stuff is amazing. This is why I said Logic's discography, right, has been amazing from like when he was much younger, but this dude was in his bag. Like, that's my personal opinion on it. So yeah, it says here he got generally positive reviews. That's an understatement. That album was amazing and everybody loved it. But yeah, what else did he drop? He dropped The Incredible True Story. I wouldn't say, like, a lot of fans love that, and I think that album was where he really started to gain traction as an artist. Like, obviously he had a following before, a big following before, but I think he really became a worldwide name when he dropped The Incredible True Story. That debuted at number 3, actually. I thought it was number 1. It was number 3. It says here, yeah, he got that feature on Sucker for Pain, which was that Suicide Squad movie. I forgot that Logic dropped Flexecution and Wrist. Those were 2 very good tracks. Yeah, going on, he dropped, what else he dropped? Everybody. I wasn't really a fan of Everybody, but to me, Everybody started to, that's when it went down that whole, I don't want to use this biracial bullshit. I don't want to talk about this, but the topics Logic was getting into at this point in his career, I was not a fan of. And I think a lot of people can relate to that. A lot of the shit you're talking about, we don't care about a lot of this stuff you get into, not political, but it's so mainstream. The stuff your focus seems to be on. And granted, yeah, life is a process. You experience different things at certain points in your life. But Doug, I think that Logic's focus at this point was so off, and this is not the shit that his fans wanted to hear, or at least I didn't want to hear it. But that's just me. Everybody wasn't my cup of tea. I didn't really care about that. Going on, what else did he drop? He dropped Bobby Tarantino. I think I missed that. Yeah, that was in 2016, right? Bobby Tarantino was before everybody. Bobby Tarantino is one of my favorite mixtapes from Logic. One of my favorites. No, I know a lot of fans probably wouldn't say that that's their favorite, but that's personally my favorite. Bobby Tarantino 2 in 2018, another class. Well, I wouldn't call it a classic, but that's another one that I put on repeat. I love the Bobby Tarantino mixtapes. Those are just, it's just, you can get into that so easy. You just download that, play that. You don't need to skip anything. It's just really good. Yeah. Then he dropped Young Sinatra, the other Young Sinatra tape, which was a big throwback for a lot of his like day one fans. They really, I can tell that a lot of them were excited to see when it was announced, and then when it finally came out, they pretty much seemed satisfied with it. I didn't really hear any complaints about the new Young Sinatra tape. He dropped Supermarket, which was the soundtrack. Oh yeah, the soundtrack to his novel that he dropped. I didn't read it, but whoever, if you liked it, you liked it. And the 5th studio album, Confessions of a Dangerous Mind. Oh my god. I'm not gonna lie, COADM, the first time I listened to it, it wasn't bad. I didn't hate it the first time I listened to it. But then I listened to it again and listened to it again, and I realized the lack of substance in this project. This thing is not that good. I don't know why I liked it so much the first time. Maybe I was just that excited to hear a new Logic project. And the single Confessions of a Dangerous Mind thing I've ever misleading track you would ever hear from a project, because you're listening to Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, the single, and you're thinking that this entire album is going to be something so deep, so mind blowing, so eye opening. Because that's what the single made you think. He's talking about depression and typical stuff, but stuff that needs to be expanded upon in today's society. But then you get to the album, and Confessions of a Dangerous Mind is just a lot of, how would I describe it? I wrote this somewhere. I said I would describe Confessions of a Dangerous Mind as childish, whiny, fake deep, and also braggadocious. Childish because some of these things he's talking about, I go on my phone and people are hating on me, and I don't want to hear. Whiny, childish and whiny fall under the same category there for me. It's these are things that you're experiencing, but you don't need to expand on these things or talk about these things for 2, 3, 4, 5 songs straight. To me, that's just ridiculous. You're wasting content. I didn't care about that. I don't think many other people cared about that as well. You can talk about that for a few bars, not for a few songs. Fake deep, because I think Logic believed that what he was talking about was so much more important than it actually was. I don't know if he thought while writing these songs that they're gonna relate to this, and no, we're not. It's not even that deep. You're just complaining a lot about. Granted, I'm not saying that what you're going through, I'm belittling it or anything like that, but it's not as deep as you think it is. And then the braggadocious part. Oh my god, I can't even remember which song I'm referring to right now, but he starts you can't be complaining and then also bragging. What are you bragging about? You say you're not the flexing type, but I can hear you going on and on about how much riches you have and where you're at in life. And I get it, there's a time and place, as he said in the Homicide song with Eminem, but this album was just all over the place. It wasn't exactly what you thought it was going to be when he dropped the single. It was a big letdown. It was one of the biggest letdowns, and that's where I think it really hit him hard when he saw the reviews he was getting, and that one was like a punch to the gut for Logic, because I think maybe he expected that this album would do amazing. I think it did well in terms of sales, but the response he got, I don't think he expected that, and that kind of hurt him. I know that hurt him. But when you compare that to No Pressure, the final album before he retired, No Pressure, I'm not gonna lie, is nothing short of fantastic. That's the best thing I can say. It gives you, I think a lot of core Logic fans would say No Pressure give you that old vibe, that old Logic. I don't like using artists like trying to reference them as their old selves, but it definitely gave you that back in the day type of Logic, like the stuff he's talking about, right? And it just makes me question, why did Confessions of a Dangerous Mind have to be what it is? You know what I mean? Like, if you can drop No Pressure, like Confessions of a Dangerous Mind could have been No Pressure. I don't know why he felt the need to talk about the stuff he did on Confessions, but then like after drop No Pressure like a year later or 2 years, like 2 years later, and this is like, what an album this is. Like, I think No Pressure, I have on an Instagram post here, I said No Pressure is like, he talks about a lot of fatherhood, a lot of maturity. It's a lot of maturity from his part, you know what I mean? That's the best way I can put it, and that's why I think fans love it. Like, maybe the whole retiring thing overshadows the album, but I don't think it does. Oh, here it is. I said that No Pressure is an album so far that I gotta say it's everything I kind of expected it to be. You know, I didn't expect No Pressure to be bad. I always knew that if this dude is retiring, he's gonna go all out on this album, which he did. So I said it reminds me of Bobby Tarantino, but with a hint more maturity and a few more life experiences. And I was like, wait a minute, that's basically what it is. No Pressure is that's a result. This is a product of what Logic has been through, to me, since he dropped Confessions of a Dangerous Mind. That's what I think it is. I don't think, like, we wouldn't have gotten No Pressure if he didn't drop Confessions. I think a lot of the backlash he got, along with the fact that he's a father now and he's going through a lot of, like, typical father stuff, dad stuff, you know what I mean? And then you tie all that together, and then you go through a lot of the emotional stresses he's going through in his personal life, which we don't know about, type of the stuff we do know about, a lot of the hate he gets on social media, type of a lot of the love he gets on social media. You go through all that, and that can weigh a lot on a person's mind, and I think that's what really caused the Logic to say, I can't take this anymore. I think I really need to step away from this rap shit. Again, though, I don't care what anybody tells me, though. Well, actually, I do care, but I'm gonna stick with my belief that Logic is retiring because I don't think he can maintain, he can manage the level of expectation that his fans have for him. Because since Confessions, he dropped the bar so low. The bar has been so low for Logic. Like, he set such a low standard for himself compared to the standard he had before. You know what I mean? Like, again, Confessions, I hate referencing Confessions so much, but Confessions was not good. How do you bring that out and think that that's okay? It's not that good. But then No Pressure, to end your career after releasing No Pressure, there's still so much more to go. Because if you can do that, it means that you shouldn't retire. Well, it means that you shouldn't give up. If for the reasons I'm thinking you're leaving rap is because you can't manage what fans expect from you anymore. You can't deal with the, oh man, everything I drop seems to get so much hate. But then you drop No Pressure and see how much love you get. It's like, no, you're not. I think it's going to be a case of you're coming back in a few years, but I don't know. I really don't know what to say about that, honestly, because yeah, he did the Twitch stream and he's giving his reasons as to why he's leaving. I believe, look, it's not like I'm dismissing what he's saying. I just think it's more Logic he's unsatisfied with some of the responses he's getting from his last few albums, the whole biracial crap. I don't really think that plays much into it, but a lot of this stuff all adds up into, I think that's his decision for leaving. And also maybe he's beginning to feel repetitive. You know, some rappers say they're running out of stuff to talk about. I remember when people were saying that about Eminem, like, he should just retire. You're running out of stuff to talk about. Every album you're releasing now just sounds like the last one, but you're just rapping about the same topics differently. You know what I mean? I don't think that's Logic's case. Like, Logic is only 30. That's, like, there's no age limit on this rap shit. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Maybe that
I think he's gonna come back in a few years. I think someone said it on the Breakfast Club. Like, you say you're gonna retire, but you're gonna come back in a few years. You know what I mean? Like, but he definitely seemed like he was gone though. Like when he was crying on that Twitch stream as well. It's like this man was genuinely sad, and I mean I would be too. Like the effect Logic has on a lot of people, especially like, his real day one fans know like this is gonna hurt them. I know it's gonna hurt them. Cause you can see it even when he's at his shows. Like these people are like passing out. The effect that this dude has on these people is crazy. So I don't know. Like I think he still has some stuff to figure out. I don't think he's, as much as he would say it, I don't think he's like certain if he's done for good. But you can definitely expect a bit of a long break from Logic. Not any music or anything like that. He's probably gonna drop a few more books. Who knows? But yeah, that's pretty much what I gotta say on this. If you want a track by track review, you can just let me know. Message me on Instagram, r4_productions, or you can just comment on the YouTube video and tell me, tell me what you want from this, or what did you think about this video. Yeah, so leave a like, comment, subscribe please. That'd be much appreciated, and until next time.